Hang on. We now have the privilege of welcoming to the stage a remarkable individual who's no stranger to doTERRA or our conventions. He's been with us here before. A few years ago, while he was working as a special agent for the Department of Homeland Security, he discovered that there were things that the U.S. government could neither legally do nor effectively do to rescue victims of sex trafficking, especially in foreign countries. He therefore resigned from his job with the U.S. government and founded a private, non-governmental company which has become one of the most successful, if not the most successful, anti-human trafficking organizations in the world. His organization is dedicated to rescuing and helping children who are survivors of human trafficking and working with local law enforcement to catch and put away the bad guys. The organization is Operation Underground Railroad. The man is Tim Ballard. Help me welcome Tim Ballard to the stage. The story goes on. That's how the story goes.
Wow! Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. We are so honored to be partners with you, be partners with doTERRA. What we've been able to do together, just going through my notes, it's overwhelming. We have rescued so many kids together. I was here 3 years ago on this stage, and I told you something, that you could, just here in the United States, this is not just a problem overseas, it's right here. 250,000 children here in the United States. So what you could do is you could take all the seats in this arena, put a child there, and multiply it by about 14. That's how many kids right here in the US are dealing with this. And doTERRA has helped us tremendously to find these kids. In fact, the very first operation we did with doTERRA, Dave Sterling, CEO, founder, doTERRA, came with us, and I reported on this operation we did. It was in the United States, and I haven't given you the update yet, but I just posted it on my Instagram at Tim Ballard. Go check it out, and I tell you what happens at the end of the operation. 33 pedophiles off the streets. Go check it out. And we had Dave Sterling right in the middle of all of that. So please go watch him and watch the news update at Tim Ballard on the Instagram. Now, that was just the beginning. doTERRA was dedicated to continuing to work here in the United States to find these children, to get these pedophiles and these traffickers off the street. And what we have done with Helping Hands, with Healing Hands, is we've built these mobile units, these mobile labs. So when our law enforcement goes out and does search warrants on these traffickers, we're the highest consuming nation in the world, the United States, for child pornography. That's horrifying. And we are taking it to them right now with these mobile labs. Because when our law enforcement now shows up to do warrants to take these guys down, usually it's very difficult to get the evidence quick enough to arrest the guy, and then the clock starts for the prosecution, and it becomes problematic. No more. Our mobile labs that you have helped build for us and for law enforcement allows our police in this country to start processing the evidence the minute the guy's being interviewed, the minute his house is being searched. And so we can arrest the guy right away. These are the labs, these mobile labs that you are building for law enforcement. Unbelievable. The other thing we're doing, cutting edge. We talked about this last year at convention. These canine detection dogs. You've heard of bomb dogs and drug dogs, But these dogs look for digital media. So these horrible pedophiles, they'll hide their child pornography on the tiniest little drives, thumb drives. They'll hide them in their carpet, in their curtains, in their floorboards, and they think they're getting away. No more, because we are bringing these dogs to them. You remember Cinnamon Bark? Cinnamon Bark, these dogs all get the wonderful doTERRA names. Cinnamon Bark was the dog that we first sent to Florida. We have sent two dogs to California, and just recently to Pennsylvania, and have more news later about some awesome stuff that we're working with doTERRA and with OUR in Pennsylvania with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Yeah. So the domestic work goes forward. And of course, doTERRA is international. And so we look for these kids who are being held in the darkest corners in captivity. 30 million people, can you believe this, are in slavery today. 6 million children in some form of slavery, whether it's sexual exploitation, slave labor, organ harvesting. And we are going out with you, with your foundation, with doTERRA, into these places. One place where we worked together on this year was in Colombia. Someone's from Colombia up there, all right. We did something in Colombia that's not been done anywhere else in South America. And what we did was we created a forensic lab. So all the countries from South America are congregating to this lab that doTERRA built with OUR. And what it does is it allows for online investigations to go forward. These pedophiles, these traffickers, they're all on the dark net. They're trading their child porn. They're making deals to buy and sell children online. If we can't meet them online, then they're going to work with impunity. And we've stopped it. In fact, just since we set this lab up with you, with your help, we have had 32 operations successfully completed, 32 trafficking rings that are no longer in existence. And our intention is to continue to go to other countries. We also, with doTERRA, we put a similar lab in Southeast Asia, in Thailand, and we're having similar results there. So it's one of the, we love sitting down with your founders, because we sit and we think outside the box, we think strategically, and we get out in front of the problem. And it's so fun to work with such creative people, because the most creative solutions to fighting trafficking are truly coming out of our partnership with doTERRA. It is so amazing. Okay, I want to talk about a country that's very near and dear to my heart. It's the one country that I can't even delegate to another operator or another manager, and that country is Haiti. And yes, Haiti is special to me for many reasons. It was one of the main reasons that we left the government to start Operation Underground Railroad. We learned about a little boy. I think a lot of you know about him. His name is Gardy Marty. A little boy born here in Utah of Haitian descent, and he was kidnapped and trafficked in Haiti. And when I learned of this story while I was in the government, it just broke my heart, because I knew that I could multiply his pain by millions. And when I met his father, I thought of the millions of parents in the world who just happen to live in a country that's developing and that doesn't have all the tools that we have here if a child goes missing. And so we went looking for this little boy, and we haven't found him yet, but I'll tell you that we are closer than we've ever been. And I'm going to tell you some of the things we're doing right now with your foundation, with doTERRA, to find this little boy and find others in Haiti. But we went into Haiti, and we identified the traffickers who took this little boy. And we identified an orphanage that was a false orphanage. And this is how they operate in some of these trafficking rings. They just establish a false orphanage, and they start selling kids out of the back door for $10,000, $15,000. We found the group that had kidnapped Gardy. And we went in undercover, and we liberated these 28 kids looking for little Gardy Marty. It was an amazing operation. And one of the reasons that my heart is so near and dear to Haiti is that 2 of those kids that we rescued ended up becoming my children that we adopted, and they just came home about 4 months ago. Yeah. And then we weren't done. We continued we continued to look for this little boy. Now here's the crazy thing. We've rescued almost 100 kids on that island looking for this little boy, working together with his father, working together with you and doTERRA. Now, one of the operations, you just saw Mia Love, Congressman Mia Love, you just saw Attorney General Sean Reyes. We went in, you saw a clip of an operation where he was wearing an OUR vest. I'm gonna tell you what happened there. We went to Haiti to do another sting operation, again, looking for Gardy. We identified about 9 different trafficking rings that brought about 29 children to what they thought was a sex party on the beach in Haiti. And it was a massive operation. Everybody got arrested. We got all the evidence we needed. We got it all digitally recorded, and we were so excited. But Haiti is a dangerous place to work because some of these countries where these kids are most at risk are places where there's corruption problems. And sure enough, these traffickers who are very high-end criminals representing major criminal mafia organizations, they paid their way out of jail. And we got the word about a week or so after the operation that the bad guys were all out of jail. And it just broke our hearts. But this is where we decide, you know, we're not gonna just quit. And we did probably the most dangerous thing we've ever done. More dangerous than any undercover operation. We employed our contingency plan. Our contingency plan was to go into the belly of the beast, go into Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and call a press conference. And in that press conference, reveal all the evidence. Because we, like I said, we video recorded everything. And the Rotary Club of Port-au-Prince was gonna sponsor it. But they told us, they said, guys, here's a problem. The media, they're not gonna come unless you bring someone famous that the Haitians believe is famous. And I said, well, who's on the list? I'll try to find that person. And the first person on the list, they said there's a congresswoman named Mia Love, and she's of Haitian descent. And they had no idea who I was or who I was connected to. I said, well, that's good because I only know one congressperson, and it's Mia Love. So now this is the important part. So I call Mia. By the way, Mia, huge doTERRA fan. As you know, she uses all their products. Every time I go into her office, doTERRA's everywhere. And I call Mia up and I say, Mia, I'm gonna ask you to do something, and my advice to you as a friend is to say no. As the CEO of OUR, I'm asking you to say yes, so you can just choose. And I told her, I said, look, I can promise safe passage to the event in downtown Port-au-Prince, but I can't promise that we'll make it out of the country alive, because we are gonna bust out the truth on all these traffickers who now are free, and we're gonna tell the truth about corrupt officials. I don't know who they are or where they are, but they're powerful. And Mia Love put on some doTERRA. I could smell it through the phone. She was putting it on, she got brave, and she said, you just tell me when and where. So we went down to Haiti, and you saw a clip of us briefing the president of Haiti after she took it to the media. And what happened was this amazing movement. And the president called us back in, and we rearrested every single one of those initial traffickers. And we've been able to rescue kids that we hadn't rescued before. And every trafficker that we go and rearrest, we're getting 3 or 4 additional ones that we didn't know existed. So we're taking it back to Haiti, we're taking it to the traffickers. And more than that, we're working on amazing aftercare efforts. Because we were rescuing so many kids that we can't rescue kids if we have nowhere to put them. And we have amazing partners in Haiti called Rafa House. Now, unbeknownst to us, we're working with Rafa House, and doTERRA is working with Rafa House. Like, it's just like light attracts light. We didn't even know, and we all came together, and I'm gonna let Rafa tell you about this amazing project that's being funded by Healing Hands and by doTERRA. Unbelievable thing that's gonna continue to revolutionize Haiti and the aftercare side to make sure these kids get the care that they need. Now, I told you the hunt for Gardy is still on. And I told you that we're doing something with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You won't believe this. Again, and this, what I'm gonna tell you, this was also funded by Healing Hands. what we're doing there. So we have set up a series of medical clinics. We've located where Gardy and these kids are being trafficked. We've located where they are, and we've set up these clinics. We're using amazing DNA technology to reunite parents and children. There's so many children who have been kidnapped, and their parents are in Port-au-Prince, and the kids are out on the border, and they might as well be, living in China because it's so hard to get out there. And we are now bringing this DNA technology that's going to allow us to identify their children and at last bring them home and bring them together. So I was telling this story to one of our partners named Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? And I said, Coach, we've got to find this little boy, but not just him, but there's tens of thousands of these kids. We've got to bring them home. And he said, well, let's go down there. So a few months ago, we went in on this operation to tour what we were doing. And he was just blown away as we flew a helicopter over the area. We landed, we went right into it. And you can just see these children. They're homeless, they're parentless, they're being abused. And we are now identifying them. And we figured things out to where the traffickers themselves are bringing the kids to us, because it's kind of an undercover situation. And we're now getting these kids, finding out who they are, and bringing them home. And who do you think funded this operation that made this first wave possible? Who was it? It was you. Healing Hands, doTERRA. So keep following us, keep supporting us. This partnership is amazing what we're able to do, the good we're able to do. And all I can say is I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. And the story goes on. Sorry. I get too excited when I'm with you guys, okay? And I forget important things. So that last operation that I just told you about, that Healing Hands was funded and made possible, Coach Tomlin was working with ESPN. You've all heard of ESPN, right? And they sent down a 5-man crew from ESPN to film this operation that I'm talking about. And this Monday Night Football, Steve Young was actually also behind all this. So Steve Young, this Monday, Steelers versus Tampa Bay, watch countdown. He's gonna show a clip of this operation that, again, was funded by Healing Hands, and then he's gonna lead you to watch the full thing. Now, ESPN, they do these little featurettes. They've never done one more than 3 minutes. They said, you're not gonna get more than 3 minutes. When they finished, they called me and they said, we broke the rule. It's gonna be 10 minutes. We can't cut it down. So they think they have an Emmy winner. So stay tuned for that, and that's going to be week 4 on Sunday ESPN. But Steve Young will announce it. Watch Steelers Tampa Bay this Monday, and it was thanks to you, and thanks to this guy, and thanks to all of you. So we love you so much. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
All right.